What's up, everyone? This is Matt with Top Termite here in Los Angeles and Orange County. We are a leading termite inspection company. We've been around for 30 years. We've been working with real estate agents in LA and Orange counties in that time, and that's what we specialize in is helping real estate agents close their deals and helping home buyers feel confident and comfortable buying their new home, that it's going to be termite and fungus rot free, that we're going to take care of any treatments or repairs that need to be done. And for this video, I want to talk to real estate agents specifically about the wood repair. The termite issues is kind of obvious, right? Like we say, hey, we found termites in the attic, in the rafter tails on the outside of the house, and in the garage. We recommend fumigation to get rid of the termites. But what doesn't get repaired or get done with the fumigation is the wood repairs, right? The damage that's been done by the termites already remains with the wood. It doesn't just go away. And of course, it's not going to fix itself. And the reason why we push to do wood repairs and why it's a Section 1 item that is a major issue is because it's a re-entry point for termites. If there's a damaged piece of wood on the outside of your house and you leave it damaged, it's an easy access point for termites to fly in and get into that damaged wood, and there's already channels built in for them that they can go and start building their colony in a much easier way than if they go after a fresh piece of wood. They have to first dig into the wood to go and start their colonies, and that takes time. So that's why we call out fungus rot issues as well. Not just termite damage, but actually just damage to the wood in general by mainly water. So when it rains or water collects, it can damage the wood, and then all of a sudden it becomes really soft, and then it could start to deteriorate. And so that's also an extra entry point for termites. So fungus rot on wood is attractive to termites. We almost say it's like putting whipped cream on top of ice cream, right? It's only going to make it more enjoyable and more enticing to the termites if the wood has fungus rot damage in it. We are always going to point out when we find fungus rot damage on any wood that we see, either on the outside of the house, inside, in crawl spaces, and in attics. Most of the time we find it on the outside of house, namely rafter tails, fascia boards, windows, door frames, doors. Those kinds of pieces of wood typically have the most fungus rot issues just because they're in contact with water. We do find it underneath the house. It's more so fungus growth, where we'll see actual fungus growing on the wood, and we'll want to treat that as well. So as a real estate agent, you want to be aware of these things going into your deal and dealing with your buyer of the house and kind of educating them before the termite inspection even happens and saying, hey, they're looking for termites, but they're also going to be looking for wood repair, wood damages that needs to be dealt with outside of just the termite work, because one leads to the other, and it's a revolving circle, right? So fungus rot issues can lead to termite issues, which leads to termite damages, which then can also lead back to fungus rot issues, because if termites are creating channels in that wood and water gets into those channels, it's going to damage that wood even further. So really it's all related, and that's why we point it out on a report, and we do the work to do the wood repairs. So we don't just do termite treatments where, like fumigations or spot treatments or subterranean soil treatments. We also do the wood repair because we know that's one of the best lines of defense against future termite infestations is repaired wood. You want to put in new wood that has, a primer on it and paint, and that'll help keep the wood dry and prevent further issues. On outside wood, especially like decks, balcony rails, things like that, staircases. If you're going to use wood, we usually always recommend using treated lumber. And what that means is the wood comes from the lumberyard pre-treated, pressure treated, so to prevent fungus rot issues and termite issues. So that wood has already been treat it in a way where it's going to be less compromised by water damage and termite damage. Not to say that it can never happen, but it's much less likely than if you just use regular wood. Of course, using treated lumber is much more expensive, and that's why many homeowners elect to just go with regular wood, because they want to save on costs. But the cost to you later down the road could be way more than if you just went ahead and got the treated lumber. Whereas like if you got regular Douglas fir or pine wood, and then 2 or 3 years later, all of a sudden it's infested with termites, you got to now repair that wood. You can't just treat it and leave it alone. You have to repair it now, because those damaged areas on the wood is now an entry point for water. It's an entry point for new termites. So that's really what we recommend. And so you as the agent want to be able to have that knowledge in your back pocket when you're talking to buyers, especially on inspection day before we show up. It helps us if the buyer is aware of what could be found. And this is really for first-time buyers or buyers from out of state who may not have experience with the kind of issues that we find in homes in Southern California. If they're an experienced buyer in LA, they should know all this already, or they should have some kind of experience with it. And so that's going to be less surprising. But if it's a new buyer, they may be shocked that we start pointing out all these issues with the wood, right? All these wood damages, termite damages, fungus rot damages. And it sounds really bad, but it's really all minor. None of it's really structural. It's pretty rare that we find structural damage where we're like, hey, we need to get a contractor in here because this is a major issue. And it's going to cost tens of thousands of dollars. It does happen, but it's less likely. Most of the time, we're going to find minor damages to wood on the outside, or windows, or doors. Things that aren't structural, but you want to repair them. Obviously, for aesthetic reasons, you don't want to just leave damaged wood alone, and it's not going to look good. But really, it's to protect from future damages and infestations. So as a real estate agent, I hope this helps with just getting a little bit more knowledge in your back pocket of, hey, I understand what termite is looking for. It's not just termites. They're also looking for anything related to water and water damage. Just the same as when we go underneath the house, we test the shower pan. So if you have a stall shower, we're going to test the stall shower and make sure that the pan is not leaking underneath the house. Because if it is, that's a major issue, not just because your shower pan's leaking, but that water, that moisture that's getting underneath the house is a attraction to termites. Termites are going to go towards that moisture, and they're going to go after the wood that's been damaged by that leak. And so that's why we pointed out it, and we actually do shower pan repairs. So we'll bring in a subcontractor who's going to replace your whole shower pan and make sure that that leak is taken care of. So that's really important to know. And then if there's we also know if there's plumbing leaks or any kind of leak or moisture, excess moisture, dampness in the sub area, we put that on a report. Even if it's a section 2 for us, we don't necessarily have anything to do with the repairs or treatments for that, but we note it on a report because we want the homeowner to have that information to hire the appropriate tradesman to take care of that plumbing leak or the inadequate ventilation in the sub area. It's not really in our scope of work, but we point it out. And you as the agent should know that, right? You want to be able to know what we will call out and what we will do repairs on and what we will not do repairs on, and what you will need to call someone for. And you can ask your termite inspector for recommendations. Like, let's say they did find that there was dampness in the sub area and it was not ventilated properly. Okay, well, who should you call to remedy that? And then they should be able to give you the appropriate tradesman to take care of that. If they don't, then you can ask around to another termite company, and they should be able to point you in the right direction. So yeah, I hope that gives you as the agent some information that you can use and ultimately make yourself look better to the client, look better to the buyer, and you want to be able to give them all of the answers to their questions. Of course, our job is to give them those answers related to termites and water damage and wood damage. Um, and we can go a little bit deeper into the whys and the hows, but you want to have that baseline knowledge so that you look confident and knowledgeable in your field, and those buyers will trust you more, and they'll want to use you again on their next home when they want to buy, or they'll tell their friends or families. So ultimately, it just makes you a better real estate agent when you know these things. And of course, there's so much to know about a house. We're just a small part of inspection day when you have your home inspector there, your chimney inspector, pool inspector, all these different guys, mold inspector, that are going through the house and pointing out all the things that could be wrong with it. And we're a small part, but if you know these little things, it just makes you a much better real estate agent, which we love to help. We love to work with real estate agents, and we love to be a great asset and team member to you guys, and provide the best inspection reports and best treatments. And so that's what we do day in and day out. So if you want to learn more, or if you want to reach out to us with any questions, you can go to our website, toptermiteco.com, or you can give us a call at 323-954-4900. We're always happy to talk termites with real estate agents, and we look forward to seeing you on your next inspection. Thanks.